Right, different look over the ditch this week. No Matty Markham. I'm away doing some things, so I thought I'd do some weekend catch-ups and catching up with Craig Ferguson after what's been a couple of great weeks. Firstly, Craig, thank you for joining me, mate.
Hey, no worries at all, mate. It's a pleasure to be on here.
You've had a good couple of weeks. We might start at the end and finish probably at the most important part, if you like. Yesterday at Invercargill, you had a ripper day, a treble. Have you driven a treble before?
I have, yes. Been fortunate enough to have a couple along the way.
Pretty good treble. I was just watching then. Always Dreaming was the first of those for your good mate Nathan Williamson. Is Nath rubbed out? Is he?
He is, yeah. He got a little bit excited in the Group 1, which he won last week. So our rules are a wee bit different over here for the whip. So to me, it didn't look like it was really, really bad at all. But they said it was continuous. So he got a few days for that, which fortunately I was the benefactor of.
Absolutely. He's a lovely horse, this horse. Good speed, you say about the whip. You didn't even turn it by the looks. You just asked him. He's beautifully bred. He's got ticks a lot of boxes, and he's just got a beautiful action about him, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a really nice horse. As with most of Nathan's, that when they go to the races, they're usually bang on, and this guy was yesterday. And like you say, I didn't even have to turn the stick. He just, I gave him a bit of a whistle at the top of the straight, and he accelerated really nice.
He's keen on that family too. I know that Nathan he's got a couple out of that family, hasn't
he? Yeah, well, it's a great family, and he's had good success with them.
Got one of the great syndicate names again as well in there. The Nude again. They were the guys that had that other horse that's names escaped me all of a sudden, but a couple of years ago.
They might have been the Samwave, were they?
Yeah, I reckon they have to be because it was Nude at 10, I think, was their catch line. So I'd say they've got to be a pretty similar group of guys anyway. So it's a great syndicate name going from there. The next horse I did want to talk about, mate, one that you trained, and we're going to touch on your training in that in a minute, but just this horse, Always Be Paulie, great name. Good name when you're looking after me. But this was impressive. One, he was an impressive win, full stop. But he looks a bloody nice horse of the future. He's got a beautiful action, but very, very green, mate.
Yeah, very green. And it was windy yesterday, and there was a lot to sort of look at and take in, first race day experience. But he does sort of feel to me like a horse that's going to go on and do a real nice job.
He's got a magic stride, just magic long stride, lopey sort of horse. If you had one criticism, he just looked a little bit gawky up the front end, but in the head, he just didn't know what to do by the looks of him.
Yeah, and that's why we've sort of waited as long as we have with him. He's always shown he had ability. He qualified back in April, I think it was, and we put him aside again, and he'll probably only have a couple of starts this time in as well, and he'll go back to the paddock. But he's just a little bit immature mentally.
Yep.
But physically it's all there.
Yeah. What do you do? What's the next target? Just another rating race, or is there something in mind with him?
Yeah, I think there's a sort of a final sort of thing in a week or two.
Yep.
For horses just out of maidens, so he'll probably have a look at that, and then probably just have another wee break after that.
He sort of switches off. He ran away from them, switched off, and then when they started coming at him, he got going again. And after the line, he looked like he could go another lap. Like
yeah, that was certainly the bit I liked. He was just sort of waiting on them, and he only did what he had to do. But after the line, when they all got up alongside him, and it took a lap to pull him up, so I always think that's a pretty good sign.
Might just stay on him. You train him. How'd you come to get this horse? I see the owners breed him. Are they been long-time clients?
No, first horse I've had for them, but they're actually family friends of ours. We grew up. I think my dad and the owner Paul, they worked for the same company or similar companies or something like that. So when we were kids, we used to go over there for dinners and things like that, and spend a lot of time with the family. So it was nice to be able to get a horse in. And well, one start, one win for the owners.
Yeah, but I don't think it's his last win either. He's by Always Be Mickey, and his actual name, the mare's name is Bubba Hotep. Is that got nothing to do with you? I hope the Bubba.
No, it was one I probably followed back in the day a little bit. Just obviously the family connection, but I always liked the name as well. But no, it's I don't think it's named after me.
We were just talking about that there before. How many do you train? How many horses do you have in work?
We usually, when we're full, we have 20.
Yep.
We sort of try and cap it at that, but um, at the moment, I think we might only have 15. We sort of just cut back over Cup Week, and we'll start to ramp things up again now that I'm back on deck, based down here.
For a lot of the Aussies that may not be aware, you train at Wyndham on the track. You've got the stables there on the track. It's quite a unique track. It's beautiful. It's big. Got a golf course in the middle. You get a few things you've got to look at it, but it's got pretty ticks most of the boxes that you need.
Yeah, it's great facilities here. It's track's 1,500 meters, so you're in trouble if you got a horse that can't get around here. They won't get around anywhere. There's a 1,600 meter grass track around the outside, which we've got full access to, provided the weather's good, which in Southland isn't always the case. So we just have to gauge it on how dry it is, but we can go on that whenever it's suitable, which is great. There's a swimming pool, and yeah, for the afternoons, there's a golf course in the middle.
Brent White was saying to me, like, they quite often think horses are ready to go. They'll sneak them down to Methven. Is it the same for you? You put them on the grass and just see where they're at? He said it's amazing at how you can find out if they're fit enough and ready to go when you put them give them a grass track workout.
It's actually, to be honest, it's not something we've ever really tried. I know the Canterbury boys, they love going to Methven, and they think I think that they don't have to go so quick, but it's just a good blowout for them as sort of their last run. So yeah, probably something we need to look into in the future.
Your training stats, I haven't got it up. Sorry, Craigie. I'll get it up now. You'd have to be wrapped with your training stats and your driving stats for the year, but your training stats this year, you haven't as good a year as you've had. I was looking at it there before. You've had 18 wins. You had 34 wins last season, but this year you've had 68 starters, 260,000 in stakes. Like, for a small team with a small stable of horses and small racing numbers, you must be wrapped with how things are progressing.
Yeah, we are. I got some great owners and great staff, and we're fortunate enough to have some nice horses. So we're down on wins a wee bit to what we were last year, but in saying that, we've sort of had some nice horses racing some nice races with Wagstar and Da Vinci, and that sort of chasing the just that tier below the New Zealand Cup sort of grade of horse. So just to have stock like that we've been able to bring through and make it to that level is something we're really proud of.
And realistically, the year before, they were progressing through their grades, hopefully like always Paulie does, and those sorts of things. This year they're against the big boys. It's not that easy to notch up a win, is it?
No, that's right. It's a whole different ball game. It's certainly a little bit easier when you've got a nice horse going through the grades. But yeah, once they get there, it's a little bit tougher. But it's nice to have them there, and the owners certainly get a big thrill, even if they're not winning, but just to be in those races.
They're both going terrific, though. You must be wrapped with how they're going, especially Wagstar. He looks like a horse that another year under the belt next year could really be his year.
Yeah, I've sort of always thought that with him. He's such a big boy, so sort of said to the owners, whatever we get this year will be a bonus. And he's doing well. He went to Addington and won up there in the lesser grade, and then he was sort of chucked in against the big boys. But they both acquitted themselves well.
How did he handle Karaka? Matty Markham, who normally does this show with. How did he handle Karaka? Matty Markham said, he thought he had a real good chance at Karaka. It's a bit of a unique track and a unique racing experience, I suppose.
Yeah, he handled the experience good, and the trip and that. He just he copped a tough run. Mark sort of tried to make a 3-wide move sort of round to get handy, and he got sort of posted out there the last lap. So he managed to stick with them sort of right to the top of the straight, and then just hit a wall. But the way the race was run, we were pretty happy with him, really. And he surprised me, really, just on how relaxed he was. And there's a lot to take in there. Camper vans on the inside and everything like that. Certainly a lot to see. So I think he'll take good benefit from something like that.
And it's not a narrow track, but it is. You're very confined, aren't you? Like, it's quite unique, that track. Like, there's plenty of room for you to get out wide if you want to, and that. But it's very claustrophobic as well.
It is, yeah. It's quite a unique racing experience there, and sort of unique to drive around. And I think a track, you very much got to be in the right position. you feel like you're traveling really good and you try to come to the outside and you can't make a lot of ground. You sort of got to be handy, but it's a great place. It's certainly somewhere that I'd recommend most people go for a look.
Absolutely, because it's what harness racing's about, isn't it? We want to get people there. Just while we're still on your training, have you got any more up and comings? Any more always be Paulies or any of the likes coming through the gates?
I've got a few young ones here that haven't really done a lot. We've sort of got them back into work now or in the coming weeks, and they'll do a little bit over Christmas time, and we'll sort of see. So there's some well-bred stock that will hopefully step up in the new year and might do something.
Do you like buying babies, like yearling sales, the NZB sales, and that? Do they like you get there and try and get some more owners, more higher quality horses?
Yeah, look, we haven't bought a lot, maybe 5 over the years, but it's certainly something that I'm looking to get more into. You see the success guys are having, like Regan and Nath with ones they've bought from the sales. So they're a couple of guys that I have a lot to do with, So you sort of see the ones they're able to pick up and what they can go on and do. So that's certainly something that would like to have a crack at.
That'd have to be good for you too, wouldn't they? Those guys, like they'd keep you grounded, but also point you in the right direction and sort of steer you in the right way.
Yeah, they're good. I can ask them for any advice or, I've been lucky I spent a bit of time with Nathan at the sales, just sort of have a look at what he looks at and, probably learned a lot off him. And, he's done a wonderful job on some of the ones he has. So, both those guys are really good in so many ways.
What do you want to do with your training before we get off it, mate? You want to just sort of keep where you are, have a good stable down south, because there's good money on offer. I mean, yesterday there was some great money on offer and there's plenty of racing down there. Or would you, one day want to move up Canterbury or, even Australia or somewhere like that?
Yeah, sort of haven't really made too many plans as far as any of that goes. At this stage, I'm quite happy down here. Sort of got a pretty good thing going, being able to go and stay at Regan's with my horses, or I can even post them up to him and he'll look after them, or, vice versa. He sends them down here or he'll bring them down here when he comes down. So sort of the way it's going at the moment is working, and ultimately we just want to try and target some nice races and hopefully, one day train a Group 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll get onto that in a sec. We'll just stick with Invercargill yesterday and moment of what this horse. I think that was its 4th win. I think I looked up the other day. Nice trotter. Looks a bit of a handful to drive, even not just stepping away, like where's no head check and sort of you're on your toes the whole time.
Yeah, he is a wee bit. He's still just very much learning. And he's got the ability and he sort of knows it as well, so he can be a wee bit of a handful at times, but he's mostly good. You just sort of got to really hang on to him at times, just especially yesterday, like it was so windy and wet and horrible, like the conditions weren't much fun, but I had to sit pretty still up the straight, but fortunately he's got enough ability, he was able to do that.
He just throws in a funny stride every now and then he looks like he's got a beautiful action. It looked like the second horse was going to go straight past him here, and it was never ever going to get any closer than what it does about now. Like it was always holding him off.
Yeah, well, it sort of loomed up pretty quick, and I had to just ask my guy to sort of give a bit more of an effort. But when I did it, he just quickened instantly. So yeah, I thought top of the straight I might have been in a little bit of trouble until I asked him, and he just changed gear, which was good.
Did you drive many for Amber?
Not a lot. I was actually lucky to get on that one. Matty Williamson was supposed to drive it one day and he had travel difficulties, so I was sort of lucky I didn't have a drive in the race, so I was able to drive it and managed to win on it, so I've been lucky enough to stick on it.
Yep, Matty be trying to get on, but he's got no chance, has he?
That's right. No, well, fortunately for me, sort of Matty's got that many trotters to drive with his own ones and Phil's and that, so he probably doesn't have much of an opportunity to get on something like that and stick with it.
Actually, I'm going to go back to the start of this race. Right, so one of the main reasons I wanted to catch up with you, over Cup Week, but it was a little bit hard. I better just go back a touch. Just give me one sec. And you're outside the front here. One, congratulations on your first Group 1, but I love the confidence you have in this horse, but I love your drive as well, Craig, and I'm not saying it because I'm talking to you. Outside the front, and you can see you burning across there. Did you think you were going to cross them when you were scoring up?
I sort of had no set plan, and I just decided in sort of the heat of the moment, I thought, well, as the gate left, I just give him his head, and he sort of dashed off that first 20 metres really well. So I thought, shit, if I'm going to have a go, I'm going to have to try and get there quick, because I thought Captain Sampson would probably want to hold the front. So, yeah, it was sort of just in that instant. And the beautiful thing about him is he's just got such good speed. So when I asked him to buzz early, he did.
Yeah, he's a magic horse. I'm happy to let this whole video play out, because there's so many things that happen. Because of course here comes Ribera with Blair, and I would imagine you're probably thinking there you just want to hold the front, but then things change when Johnny Dunn comes. Split section decision. Did you regret it at all once you handed up?
No. Well, I was looking for a breather. I think we might have run the quickest ever lead time around Addington or something like that. So the commentator said, and so Regan keeps reminding me. But I kept telling him it was a tailwind. But I sort of knew I'd probably need a breather. So when Blair came, I thought, well, the chances of him handing to Johnny's one, he's probably going to want to sit it outside him and try and beat it that way. So, knowing I'd done so much work early, he was sort of probably best to stay in front and have his shot. So I thought it probably wasn't a bad one to follow.
He's also has promised a lot. He's shown a lot marketplace. He's just been outstanding, to be honest. How were you feeling here? Did you think you were going to win your first Group 1? Like, how were your confidence level? Because the horse you're sitting on the back of is a very nice horse.
Yeah, around here I was just absolutely jogging. He sort of went to drop the bit a wee bit, and I just give him half a whistle, and he just got that instant acceleration. He just grabbed the bit and really wanted to go. So around here I was pretty confident that when I took the passing lane, he still had plenty left.
And were you able to savour it, or were you just like, let's just get there first and worry about it? Like, I know it might sound funny, but were you able to savour it up the straight, or you were just trying to find the winning post?
No, I was just trying to find the winning post. I didn't even have time for a salute or anything like that. It was just sort of relief once I got past the post. And you don't see on the video here, but we had the flat tyre before the race and that. So it was just a sort of relief, really, just to finally get one.
Over the back straight with Blair Orange. He's won that many Group 1s. It's not funny. Did anyone say anything to you, or did you acknowledge anyone? Were you in your own little world, I suppose?
No, that's the beauty of the guys over here. They're all great and great mates. So it was pretty cool pulling up afterwards, and everyone was congratulating me and that. So that was really cool.
When did it really sink in? Like, by the time you got back to scale, or the next day, or like, when did you when were you able to sort of stop and say, I finally ticked that off me box?
Yeah, well, probably when we got back to scale, it was starting to sink in then. Shaking hands with Regan and that, because he's been such a good mate of mine for so long. So that was pretty cool. And then probably the next day, sat down and watched the replay a few times and had a couple of cold beers, and that was when it really sort of sunk in that we'd managed to do it.
Yeah, you should be proud. I imagine you would have got plenty of well wishes afterwards, and it'd be a nice, as I say, monkey off the back. But at least now you're a Group 1 winning driver. You belong in the Group 1s. That's got to give you a lot more confidence going forward in the future as well, mate.
Yeah, that's right. It certainly probably does give you a bit more confidence being out there, knowing that you can get the job done. And so,
I don't think it's ever been up for debate, but at least it's concreted now, if you know what I mean, or stamped that people say, well, hang on, he's a Group 1 winning driver. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I guess that's right. I can say, well, I've been there and done it. So, whereas up till then, I was still just chasing one. So, like you say, it's just good to get the monkey off the back.
How good is he, marketplace?
Yeah, I think he's pretty good. I'm pretty confident saying he'd be the best horse I've driven.
Yep.
Just the sheer speed, the acceleration he has. He can just, when you ask him to go, he just changes gear and goes just like that. But as we've seen in his last two starts, he seems to be super tough as well, which, to do it at both ends like that, there's not many that can.
No, and he can come wide. I don't know if it was his second last win or his third last win anyway, but he came wide, had a fair bit of traffic in front of you, had no right to get there, and almost one easing down, if you like. That was at Addington as well. It was just a phenomenal win. He's very, very. He's a typical Bettors Delight in a way, isn't he? Not stereotypical. He can do whatever you ask him to do.
Yeah, that's right. He's got that sort of Bettors Delight toughness as well, but really, he's the perfect horse to drive. he just relaxes for you, but he goes when you ask him to, and it doesn't seem to be too much bottom to him. At this stage, we haven't found the bottom to him, I should say.
We've mentioned his name a couple of times. He's a good mate of yours. He's one of the big up-and-coming trainers, I think, in the industry where things are changing a bit and there's new names on offer. Regan Todd just dead set announced himself this year. You must be one part of it with Marketplace, but then also to be a mate. The horse that won the last, I don't know if it won the last race on the second day. The horse. Yeah. He's just ticking all these boxes. He's got young trotters. He's got trotters. You must be wrapped with the success one he's having and to be a part of it, I would imagine, as well, and helping the bloke along the way, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, we've been great mates for years, so I've seen how hard he works and what he puts into it all. So to see him having the success he is, it's just, I'm super wrapped for him and proud, really, just to see him, especially a guy from down here as well. He grew up the same town as me, so to see someone from a small town go up there and make it on the big stage is is really cool.
Pretty big thing that he did too. Like a lot of people, we get caught on a hamster wheel, go round and round and round a lot of the time. Stepped away this year, went missing in England, went to some show jumping events and cross-country events and the likes. He's just come back. He's just revolutionised himself, hasn't he, since he's came back? It's probably a good lesson for a lot of people, yourself and other young people around there. Maybe don't just sit there on the hamster wheel and go round and round in circles.
Yeah, that's right. It's probably been the best thing he did, really. He come back with a new passion for it again, and because you can get stale. You're doing it, day in, day out. It's the same old thing, and you sort of get stuck in your ways. So I think Regan going away, you come back, and he just, he missed it while he was away, and he was rapt to be back, and sort of changed the way he was doing things. And I think since he's been back, he's had at least one winner a week, often more. So his stats for the last part of the season are unreal, and strike rate as well. Like a lot of what he's been lining up's been finishing in the money, which is great.
And even when they miss out, Mwanga, who won the at Kaikoura, but then he's running the Trotting Cup, the New Zealand Trotting Cup. You just got to go back and watch it. Like, it was ridiculous what he done in that race.
Yeah, well, you sort of think if he hadn't missed away, he probably would have run third. Like, it was a huge run, and he was a horse that Regan was reluctant probably to start this year in the Cup. He thought it was probably too soon for him. So he's an exciting horse that, this time next year, could really be a feature in the New Zealand Cup.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right, mate, what's next for you? Stay down south, or do you have a couple of trips up to Christchurch, or have you got potentially the North Island over the summer months?
Well, firstly, we got Marketplace has got another Group 1 on Friday, so
yep.
I'll head back up there. There's the New Zealand Oaks as well, so yep. I'll have Louise girl in there. She's been going well, just bad draws and tricky runs. Like, she's sort of just not good enough to make her luck against those good fillies, but she's good enough to be in those races, and we're just hoping for a nice draw to see what she can do. So
you've had to run a bad one, so you drew a good one.
Yeah. She's never had a good draw, so hopefully we get one.
I actually chat with Martin Pearson after this. The interview will go up, and her name comes up in it because she's by Lord Forbes, and people might say, who's he and all the rest. But maternally wise, she's got some great breeding on her side. She's a lovely filly. I apologise for not bringing her up because, she's what harness racing's about, if you like. Not necessarily a Bettor's Delight or an Art Major or a Captain Treacherous. She's and probably a little bit small, a little bit non-descriptive, if you like, but just does a job. And just you must really enjoy having her around the place, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, she's always sweetie. She's just a plain sort of wee horse, and like you say, she's just little, but she's a cool wee horse, and she tries her heart out. And just with her breeding, the coming from Lord Forbes, who a lot of people probably don't know of, and to be able to do what she's done, and she's not finished yet, so it sort of shows that you can dream a little, and there's sort of no rules.
Does she give you a lot of confidence? Like, it was at Ashburton, there was no gap. Once a gap opened up, she just like even if you're not going to get a run, or you're not going to be able to win, if the gap opens at the right time for you, she'll do anything in that sense. Like, does she give you that bit of confidence driving?
Yeah, she does. Well, she's just so speedy, and the beauty of her, she tries so hard. She if she gets a gap like that, she'll do her best to sort of get through it and make the most of it, which is, that's an asset in any horse.
She seems brave too, though. That gap doesn't have to be 100% there. I reckon at Ashburton, you were waiting for the whole gap to open up. You had to manoeuvre the wheels around, and she was already in there and off.
Yeah, she was. She was charging on through, and I had to sort of shuffle left and right just to try and fit the sulky through. But no, she's a determined wee horse.
Sorry about that. So you've got that this week. Or is it this weekend? This Friday coming?
Yeah, this Friday coming. Yeah.
Yep. And that. But will you take a team up north or?
Probably not.
Because you got the Invercargill Cup and that back at home, haven't you?
Yeah. So we'll target that with Da Vinci and Wagstar. All going well, they'll both head there, and I think Regan's going to bring Moanga down. So I have to return the favour, since I've been staying with him for the last 2 or 3 months. So I have to take him in for a day or two, which will be good.
Yep. Yeah, I would imagine it is. You boys do have some fun when you're there, but that's half the battle.
Well, yeah, it certainly makes it a lot more enjoyable if you can have a bit of fun and a few laughs. And, that's why I love getting up there for around cup time and whatnot, just, hanging out with great people.
No, absolutely. Craig, congratulations, mate. Group 1 winning driver. You've ticked that one off. Won't be the last one. I think well done for you on that. Treble yesterday. We'll say Friday to make it easier for people. But continue doing what you're doing, mate. Your training stats are outstanding. Your driving stats are outstanding as well. So continue doing what you're doing, mate. But congratulations on winning the Group 1, buddy.
No, thanks very much.
Woodland Stud have a fantastic stallion roster for the 2024-2025 season, headed up by the King, Bettor's Delight, down by the seaside, who just keeps producing quality horses on both sides of the ditch. Lather Up 2-year-olds are really starting to make an impression. Speeding Spurs standing for the value of $1,000. Sweet Lou fully booked out here in Australia, but still available for the New Zealanders. And What the Hill, the sire of Bet and Win, who won the Canterbury Park on the weekend and is now qualified for the Dominion Handicap. To get in touch with the team, visit woodlandstud.co.nz. That's woodlandstud.co.nz. The NZB National Yearling Sales, the 15th of February 2025 at Karaka, is a Saturday. Then they move to this Tuesday, the National Yearling Sales in Christchurch on the 18th of February at Canterbury. For more information, go to nzbstandardbred.co.nz.
Catching up now on Over the Ditch with Martin Pearson from the Sire Stakes Board. Martin, hello and welcome.
Paul, thank you, my friend. How are you?
I am very well. Better for speaking to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anyone that rings Martin will know that that's one of the reactions you get back every time. Martin, in all seriousness, pretty busy time coming up now for yourself and the New Zealand Sire Stakes. We're going to recap a little bit on some of the winners last week that did just happen, but there's some pretty important dates that people need to be aware of for sustaining payments for 2-year-olds.
Yeah, it is, Paul. So we've had Cup Week, and we'll talk about that shortly, like I said. At the moment, though, and closing on the 2nd of December, that's a Monday, is the 2-year-old payment. So that's current yearlings that want to race in 2025 as 2-year-olds. So they're the races we just saw during Show Week, the Sire Stakes finals, of course. But those horses had to be nominated and sustained. So I'll contact the Australian people that are involved. But going forward, with the success the Australians have had, I would encourage more into the Sire Stakes to race during Cup Week.
A lot of people pay up for them, and this goes both sides, but especially for the Australians watching this, they pay up their foal payment, but you must have sustained your yearling payment as well. So just the foal payment won't get you into here, but you've got to have made your yearling payment as well. And then now you pay up for your 2-year-old to race in the 2025 season. And I think the important part, what you just said, Martin, is they were only just run. So you might have a yearling, you might not have even broken in. You've still got 14 months, basically, that you can make these race series.
Paul, there's no doubt. $350 now, December, or November, really. Compared to a $20,000 late payment 9 months down the line. It makes no sense. I tell people all the time it's 10 bags of feed or the equivalent thereof. If you've got a yearling that's paid up to date, I would spend $350. I do it myself and hope they make a Sire Stakes heat or a final going forward. It's a no-brainer economically.
No, what we'll do, Martin, we'll go this way. We'll put this up now. If you want to contact the New Zealand Sire Stakes Board, unfortunately, I got that logo in the wrong spot. I always have everything organised, Martin, and then I just have one thing throw a curveball to me. Your name is there. This is on the contact us at the New Zealand Sire Stakes Board, and it is basically nzsirestakes.co.nz. All the contact details, all the information is there. On the website, and it's the easiest way to get in touch with yourself or anyone and find out any of the up-to-date information.
Yeah, absolutely. And people give me a call pretty much 24/7, to be honest. I take a lot of pride in this role, and I encourage our Australian friends across the ditch. So people can give me a call and I can explain. More and more people are nominating foals, especially those going through your yearling sales, and making them more attractive to Australasian buyers. And again, I'm going to keep hitting this point. The success you guys had during Cup Week can only be good for the sport in Australasia, and the Sire Stakes Board would like to be a big part of that.
And it's interesting too because people trying to maximise their dollar. If you can make your horse eligible, it's a great way of getting another buyer instead of just having Australian buyers or New Zealand buyers. You can sort of maximise it a little bit that way as well. Martin recently put up the New Zealand Sire Stake Facebook page, social media. Like it or not, it's here to stay. We want people to be aware of it. We don't have a lot of followers just at the minute, but it is ever growing. There's always content coming out on this page, and we want to make sure that people are aware of it. Messaging, but also photos, reactions, some great photos there of some of the winners over the weekend. Again, we will touch on those. And that is simply the New Zealand Sire Stakes is what that page is. There's no board on the end of that, but if you type in New Zealand Sire Stakes, you'll be able to find that page, and that will also keep you up to date with any news that's coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, as you said, it's pretty new to me. I'm not a big social media person, but understand that's the way forward. Obviously, HRNZ will share most of those stories for me, so therefore it'll get a greater following, but it's going to be there. We're going to not overload it. We're going to put in pertinent information, celebrate winners, of course, because it's great to see winners, but also news and information for our clients. So, yep, that's there, Paul, and we appreciate all the support we get with that.
Yeah, and we need people to follow it. Right, we've got to highlight some of these horses, and there's a couple of really, really cool stories. There's a couple of real finds as well, if you like, out of the industry. We will start them in race order, if you like, Martin, make it a little bit easier. But on Cup Week, the 4 finals were there. The 3-year-old fillies, the Neville 3-year-old fillies was the first, taken out by Treacherous Baby. But the depth of horses in New Zealand, this race is amazing. There's some really high-class mares. They're going to be around for a long time, you hope, stepping out. But Treacherous Baby got the chocolates, and there's a real cool backstory to this, you were telling me.
Yeah, well, of course, the dam of Treacherous Baby, Baby, of course, from the famed Sakantala family. She actually won the Neville Fillies final in 2012. So I haven't checked, to be honest, but that's pretty cool to think that a mother-daughter can do that. The Neville, that was the 46th running of that race, Paul, and the foals that are being born now. So the current foals dropping as we speak will be Series 50. So that's probably one of the longest standing, I think one of the longest standing futurity series, arguably in the world. Wonderful series. It's got a wonderful place now on New Zealand Cup Day. And as I said, well, look at the quality of that field. Extraordinary, really. And they'll be our future broodmares, as we all know.
Yeah, and the stake money some of these horses have got. I was just looking at Baby there. She was just shy of 400,000 herself, and a lot of that. Treacherous Baby now just shy of 200,000, and of course a vast majority of that comes in through these beautiful Sire Stakes programs where people get the extra bonuses, and 96,000 jumped into the win pool just there. Duchess Megxit as itself will have a nice little payday, I reckon. Next Wit's Name too picked up 28,000. And just seeing there, just shy of 300,000. So it is an amazing windfall for people if you can get a horse that can win these races.
Oh, for sure.
Be in these races.
Well, yeah, and you were here during July when Harness Racing New Zealand had the Future Starts Now. The Sire Stakes Board was fortunate to be part of that, partnering up with HRNZ and their partners. So those stakes increased. So that Neville final was 140, 120, depending on where we ran it with COVID and one thing or another, $200,000. The Sire Stakes finals also lifted to 200. The Trotters lifted from 70 to 120. So that Future Starts Now, and again, I always thank HRNZ for their joint venture on that, meant the Sire Stakes Board could lift those stakes, well, significantly, which is the benefit of everybody. We all know that.
Yep, and you don't have to be regally bred. A couple of those horses are regally bred there. Of course, no disrespect, but Louis Girl ran 9th in the final, but she was desperately unlucky. One drew the car park and probably the reserve car park as well. She was that wide on the second line, but she's just a phenomenal run. And of course, she's by Lloyd Forbes. I mean, she's...
We'll just touch on her. I like her because I'm very proud of that one. I remember when I got Gavin to pay up one of my colleagues said that I was a robber. I said, that's actually not true. I said, she's beautifully bred on the dam side. Her second dam is a full sister to One Dream.
Yep.
So, yep, Lord Forbes, maybe not a commercial stallion. He was a very good racehorse. Only served a handful of mares. But the second dam was a full sister to One Dream. And it supports my argument. We've purged the stud book that much in this country. There's actually no poorly bred horses left in this country. Yes, some aren't commercial, but pretty well bred nonetheless. And there we are. Louise Girl's proof of the pudding. She's been a wonderful filly. She won the last heat at Ashburton, and she took her place in the final, and she's not finished yet.
No, and she's just shy of 100. I think it was 87,000 I saw that she's up to now in stakes going from there. I think one of the finds of the carnival, if you like, although a lot of people knew about him beforehand, but really cemented himself, is this beautifully bred and beautifully performed horse, Marketplace, for Regan Todd. He's a little ripper, and this is the sort of horses that, we want to be able to, find, I suppose, through these great races, Martin.
Oh, there's no doubt. And I'm pleased for Reg too. Reg has done a wonderful job. Look, this horse always showed a lot of ability throughout the year. It wasn't until he got to the NZB Harness Million on October the 11th that we also said, hang on, he's a bit different. He had a lot of speed, but Harness Million night, he did an enormous amount of work in the race and then ran away from them. And then on Cup Day was just way too good. Massive gate speed. Some good horses in behind, but he was just way too strong. So credit to Regan, and also Bettor's Delight, continues to tune out these top horses late in his career. But again, good field, some nice horses further down the page there that we'll see more of. But Marketplace, head and shoulders in New Zealand at this stage.
No, and you're spot on. There are horses in there. Ribera, you couldn't fault him. He was just outstanding. Demon Blue found the line terrific, but got the chocolates, Better Anvil. All these horses, they're going to race in a lot better races coming up. But that's the beauty of these size stakes. They're on the stage. People can see them. Then for the industry, people can start following these horses because they are terrific horses to follow. Then we go to the Friday now. We had the IRT size stakes for the 2-year-old trotters. This is a horse with a future, that's for sure. Meant to be. He's raw and he's imposing, Martin, but he's a very, very good product.
Oh, yes. And look, the birthday change, I'm a big fan of that. It's arguably benefited the trotters more than any. So these are still 2-year-old trotters and, still developing. The benefit of time, there's no doubt about it. There was a good, strong field of 10. And Father Patrick, there again, we're so, littered with top trotting stallions in Australasia. But at the moment, Father Patrick arguably has put his head up amongst the better proven ones, him with Volstead, of course. But look at the quality on the dam side too.
Yeah.
Brecken Farms involved there, obviously as breeders. The Williamsons, we all know the Williamsons. I'm pretty sure even in Australasia they're well known. And the Habibi Pat family. Well, that's a wonderful family. And of course, Habibi Inda won the Dominion a few years ago, and now he's at stud as well. So look, the quality of the trotters is exceptional. They're getting better and better and better, and that will only continue. We're still light years away from the top European trotters, but that's a breed that will continue to evolve and improve in the coming years.
He's won $135,000 that horse now, which is just phenomenal for a 2-year-old trotter.
Oh, yeah, he won the Harness Million as well, so that was great. And then he's backed up with the size stakes. And of course, I'm not sure what the plans are, but he's got some more races at the end of this year, or whether they just ease up and get ready for the 2025, because it rolls on with Harness Million, size stakes, derbies, etc., etc. So there's a lot of money for these young horses if they're any good.
Absolutely. And then the last, the Dunstan Horse Feeds size stakes for the 2-year-old fillies, captain's mistress for Nathan Williamson, bringing up his first Group 1. This is what dreams are about. You've given him $184,000 in stakes, and he wins a Group 1 as well. There's some great scenes after the race, Martin. Nathan and the team, they're pretty wrapped.
Oh, yeah, look, Nathan's one of the good guys in the industry. We all know that. Wonderful horseman. Great to see him get a Group 1 on show day. Captain's mistress, beautifully bred, half-sister to Merlin, who won the free-for-all later in the day. So how good's that family going?
Yep.
And, of course, Mick Boots, who's poured a lot of money into a lot of people's pockets here in New Zealand. So great to see Mick get success. Obviously, he had success with Swayze, and then he backs up and wins a size stakes race on show day. This is one he bought out of the paddock as a weanling, so that's a pretty good effort. So I was proud to give him the Foal Nominators Award too. So he picked up another $5,000 for nominating that foal, which was successful in the Dunstan Horse Feeds 2-year-old size stakes fillies final of 2024. The depth of the field, though, once again, extraordinary. And some lovely fillies will go through. And this time next year, Paul, we'll be talking about these as Neville fillies horses, hopefully.
Yeah, and again, like I say, for horses to follow. Look at the breeders there too, though, Martin. Taffy Limited, Dancing on Moonlight, Woodland Stud. We've had Brecken Farms. We've had them all coming through, and so the big breeders, follow. They get involved with the sire stakes. We want everyone to be involved in it and grow it and make it bigger and better year on year. That's the idea of this promotion. Is one, to promote the 2-year-olds for their payments that are due on the 2nd of December, Monday the 2nd of December. But we also want people to be a part of the sire stakes. We'll be doing more when we get around to yearling sales and that, making sure that people know they have to pay up for them. But yeah, we want people to be a part of these rich race series.
Oh, well, Paul, collaboration, I always sing off the same hymn sheet. Sire Stakes has been around for a long, long time. It's a trusted brand. We work closely with HRNZ, and we only want to grow this going forward. But we want to make it only not about the big people, the smaller breeders as well. And we have a suite of age condition races. We've talked about those. We ran one of those on show day as well, the Bob Mercado Southern Mares Classic. And that was for those conditioned 4-year-old and older mares. So, yep, it's about the Group 1 races, but also there's races there for everybody. So I encourage everyone to get involved.
No, exactly. The contact details are here on the page. Martin's phone number's there, or martin@nzsirestakes.co.nz to get in touch with him there. His phone number's on there, 027 4711 081. Get in touch with him. If you're an Australian, you've got to drop the 02 off and put a +61, I think it is.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah.
Yeah, but get in touch with him via email is the best one. He loves those emails. Martin, thank you very much. Well done to the Sire Stakes Board, the New Zealand Sire Stakes Board. Congratulations on putting on great races with great prize money. And that's the thing, great prize money. You need people to sustain to continue this prize money happening as well. So people, when you're paying up, you're actually putting back in. That's the beauty of what you're doing.
Well, sustainability, I say it all the time. It's great to have it now, but we want to make this a sustainable product. The Sire Stakes has been here for nearly 50 years. We'd like to be here for another 50. So everyone plays a part in doing that.
Martin, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you, Paul. Really appreciate your support.
24-25 stay-in roster for Harasta Trotters is out. Headed up by EL Titan, winner, leaving a heap of winners in America. Standing for $4,000, he is Chilled. We also have Always Ready, eligible here in Victoria. Used to Me, quality sire of 3 Group 1 winners, and the value price there is $17.50. There are discounts on all 3 of those horses if you pay early. We also have Classic Connection for $3,500. Again, standing in Queensland, this horse is, and important for the New Zealand people. This horse is Frozen Seaman, actually will mean that those horses are Q-bred. So you've got a whole new market to sell to with them being Q-bred eligible. So make sure you get in touch with the team there. And for my New Zealand friends, On a Streak will be in person, staying at Waihee Farm in conjunction with Harasta Trotters for the value price of $3,500. Breeders' Crown winner. Breeders' Crowns are on now. Frozen Sires 2, you can see there, back of the neck, not available in New Zealand, but Ekeri D and Orlando Vici, the 100% producer and of course sire of champion horse, Just Believe. Get in touch with the team at harastatrotters.com.au. That is harastatrotters.com.au. For the 2024-2025 stay-in roster for Aldebaran Park, they are standing Dancing in the Dark M for $4,400 or $4,600 including GST for the New Zealand friends. Chilled Seaman for that horse there. Sky Valley $2,000 for Australian viewers only, and the Australian representative, of course, champion sire. And then for my New Zealand friends, the unique opportunity with Aldebaran Eagle being available only in New Zealand for the service fee of $3,450. He's doing an amazing job, heading it up by Rockin' With Attitude, plus also Gatesy's Gem. GST is payable on live file. That is Frozen Seaman. Get in touch with the team at Aldebaran Park. Go to the website and all the details are there. Right, been a very, very interesting, different episode, if you like, of Over the Ditch, but great to be catching up, getting some Aussie content on it now. Sammy Kilgour, firstly, hello.
Hi, Paul.
I'm also going to say congratulations on your first winner. Well done.
Thank you. No, that was pretty cool.
We will touch on the horse in a sec. How long have you been training in your own right? Did you train in Australia in your own right?
Oh, I only had one horse in Australia that I trained myself for a very brief time, the Cavalier, and that was, it was probably about 8 to 10 years ago now. But yeah, probably over here since we got here about January. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've been doing plenty in that. So we'll touch on this horse. It was having start number 7, I think it was, but its fifth start here in New Zealand for you guys. I just got to kill the volume because it'll drive me nuts. One, how was your confidence level before the race?
No, I was very nervous. I knew I'm not so much worried about her, obviously her ability. It's just that the stand start does still concern me a little bit. I was lucky. I actually watched the race in a different spot to what I usually do. I thought I'd try and change the luck up a little bit. So I couldn't actually see the start, and after watching the replay 1,000 times, it's probably lucky that I didn't, because it was a little bit dicey, but yeah, Josh handled her to perfection and just sat like a statue and kept her going.
I love that first turn where he's 5 deep. That's Barry Alford-esque, and Chris does it now too, and I reckon a lot of the best trotting drivers do it. They don't actually worry where they are. They just worry about the horse and the gate. Right now, he's putting her into the race because he's got his confidence and he's worked out the horses in front. But around that first turn, he was basically just navigating the horse around, wasn't he?
Yeah, Josh does that a fair bit on the trotters. He does like to keep them wider, just to keep them balanced and let them find their feet. And he does a really good job with things like that, and knowing the trotters so well, and he knows her so well as too. So it was good.
She can be a bit of a handful. I'll just scrub through the next 400 because there wasn't a lot going here. He's got a lap full of horse here. You said you were watching in a different spot. Were you able to see how much horse he still had underneath him?
No, not really. I sort of could, but where I was watching, I was sort of watching just past the finishing post, so you kind of do lose a little bit of sight of them. But I did sort of know that she was traveling quite well, and I think someone actually walked up to me and said something, and I had to walk away. I'm really, really funny about watching races with people, and I didn't want to be rude, so I kind of just walked away. But she was just super. It was unbelievable, really.
Describe that moment when you realised you'd won.
I actually started crying.
Good girl.
Yeah, I love this horse so much. She just means the absolute world to me. And it was just, I always knew that she had the ability, and it was great to be able to showcase her ability to everyone else, and especially her owners. Like, they've just been so patient and so loyal, and they've sent her over with us to New Zealand, and it was really, really cool to be able to reward them with that win. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and I like the owners, you say there, the breeders. I know she's got a Breeders' Crown jacket on as well, but Jared Maloney being the breeder, he would have been very, very chuffed, but he actually won a Breeders' Crown. He's had a big week, actually, because that'll come in underneath that 7 days. He's had a massive week, Jared has.
Yeah, he has. And I think Sister Everista, her older sister, won through the week as well. Yeah. And I know Royal Charlotte was racing later that night. I actually don't know how she went, but it's a great family, and they're doing really well.
Where did Sister Everista win? I was there. Must have been Bendigo.
Yeah,
had to be Bendigo. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That part's good. So Jared's he's had a very, very good week. Now, you change spots. You don't like people coming up to you. I'm tipping you didn't go the early crow. You were just in your own little world. What happened when you drew barrier 13?
Oh, I kind of I didn't really worry too much because she's on the unruly, so I expected it anyway. And 13 is actually Josh says it's his lucky number. So yeah, I wasn't too worried. I actually didn't really know that it was 13 until the number was brought over to us earlier in the night. So I just expected the unruly, so I didn't really take too much notice.
Stall allocations, Campbell CA, we quite regularly get 13 because it's early in the alphabet. And I can't remember who I was next to. He said, "Oh, that's a lucky stall." And I said, what do you mean? And he said, 12 apostles and Jesus. In Italy, 13 is a lucky number. So I thought you might have known that one the way you were talking there. So next time anyone draws 13, you don't have to worry about it being unlucky or lucky.
No. Yeah, 13's not too bad for us.
Not too bad at all. How's it all going, Sammy? You enjoying it?
Yeah, loving it. It's really cool, especially working for Stonewall. You know, they're great people. Working with phenomenal stock. It's every day. It's really, really nice to be around good horses. And everyone knows how much I love New Zealand. And it couldn't be better, really.
It is a beautiful part of the world, and I think, like it's said about the weather, cold and wet, but Auckland's actually better than where I am here in central Victoria. I mean, the weather's generally really, really nice up that end of the world. Not overly hot, but it can get warm.
Yeah, it can. It's probably more like Sydney's weather. It does get quite humid here, but lately the days have been really, really beautiful. But it doesn't get too cold, so it's certainly not like Melbourne. A lot of people always say, the weather, it's so cold over there. Nah, Melbourne has definitely got Auckland covered, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've had a couple of hot days, and then I think today it's about 8 degrees, 9 degrees outside. So yeah, it's just one of those weird ones that we do tend to have. What's next for this little filly?
Well, they've got a series on at Alexandra Park called the Golden Gate Series. It's a final worth 100,000. I think it's on the 20th of December, and basically you pay up at the start of the year. You pay $100, and you have to have a minimum of 6 starts at Alexandra Park, and you accumulate points along the way, and you qualify for this $100,000 final at the end of the year. So we've had 5 starts. Friday night was great because it got us some nice points on the board, and hopefully I can line her up next Friday night and get our 6th start, and qualify for that final would be really, really cool.
It's actually not that far away, is it? When you think about it, like that'll be the 30th. So you only got 3 weeks left. So you haven't left yourself a lot of time.
No, we sort of her first start back this time in, she muddled up the start. She was just a little bit too fresh, and then I pulled a blood off her just after that start, and it was a bit off. So I had her in the following week, and I had to scratch her. So we've just had like minor things sort of go wrong, which have stopped us from really getting those starts into her. But hopefully, next week. I think you have until the 6th to qualify. Hopefully we can line her up this week, and we'll be sweet.
All right, you'll get in there. They've got to have the Aussies in there, that's for sure. So does she have an AUS next to her name? It's one thing I love. For some reason, the Kiwi horses that come to Australia get NZ next to their name, but the Australian horses don't get AUS.
No, I don't think she does, actually. No, she should.
Yeah, she should, and you're still a proud Aussie, even though you're there. Are you training any others at the minute?
Not at the moment. I do have. We did bring another horse over with us. Our 2-year-old Sweet Lou out of Baby Bling Gelding.
Yep.
But we've just tipped him out for. He's a big gross horse and just needs a bit of time. So we've just tipped him out for a little while, and hopefully bring him back as a 3-year-old. Yeah.
Soon. You have you got some pretty special horses coming into your stable very shortly, though. Do you get excited? A lot of people would love to be able to, I suppose, even just hand walk Just Believe. I've seen videos with you driving him and just taking him out for a walk. Both Just Believe, Better Eclipse. You've got a couple others, I think, coming as well. But the 2 boys are coming back. Do you get excited about that?
Oh yeah, for sure. And even we're great friends with Greg and Jess. I'm hoping Jess can sneak a little trip over here this time. But yeah, it's so exciting just to be able to see those horses in the flesh and be really right up and close with them. And it's really, really cool, and it's a privilege really, to be able to look after horses like that for friends.
He is a unique horse, Harry. I spoke a lot about him. He doesn't know how good he is, does he? And I would imagine around the stables, he's probably still the same as that. Would that be fair to say how he is?
Yeah, he's just like another horse, really. You know, he's a total dude to be around. Nothing phases him. You know, he rolls in, he eats up, he goes out to the paddock. You know, he's a total dude. The same with Better Eclipse, Jimmy. You know, he's a sweetheart as well. Very, very easy horses to look after. Yeah, no, they're really cool.
I should nearly do a show or a series on the best combinations, because I reckon you go a long way to find, two better horses than those two. I think, if Jimmy had been able to go with Harry to bloody Sweden and race, they would have come back with the elite lot, because they're the best of mates travelling, that's for sure.
Yeah, they are. They love each other, and they just get along so well. But they're not. It's not to the point where they're clingy for each other. They're just straight up great mates. So that makes their life a lot easier when they've both got each other. You know, when they're traveling.
If Greg and Kerry are watching this, I'll be a bit more diplomatic about what I say. Jimmy's a little bit more high maintenance than Harry.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, they're like I said, they're both very, very easy horses to look after. They don't take much management at all. So they're cool boys.
What are your plans training wise, Sammy? You happy just to always have ones and twos and look after horses like these when they come across, or down the track one day? Do you want to have your own stable?
Oh yeah, maybe one day. It was pretty tough having our own stable in Melbourne. But at the moment, I'm really happy doing what we're doing. You know, like I go and work Lottie early in the morning, and then I cruise over to Stonewall, sort of finish out my day there, and then I go back over there to the other farm and do her and the Arvos. So Josh helps me when he can. He usually does her main hobble work. So it's probably enough at the moment. Because it does sort of tend to get a little bit busy if we've got races and trying to juggle it all. But yeah, that's probably enough for now. Yeah.
And Josh is enjoying it. He's driving terrific. His strike rate's terrific, and that. And I hope he's still enjoying it over there.
Loves it. Yeah. Yeah. It's the best thing we've ever done, to be honest. Josh is loving it. He's driving super. He's driving great horses. And it's great that. Josh can show his ability as a driver. He's getting the opportunity to be able to do that now. So, it's been really, really cool.
I think it was well and truly showcased on your filly just there. Like he is driving a lot of the trotters for Stonewall. They're getting more and more, and I reckon there'd probably be a reflection on Josh as much as anything why they are getting more and more, because the way he does handle them, and you're probably too young to remember Barry Alford, but it's very much there'll be some people my generation that would well and truly appreciate it. Barry was unique. He could be 7 deep and no one underneath him. He would still sit there and not move until that horse found its gait properly. And that's what I did love so much about that drive.
Yeah, Josh has just got and a lot of people come up to me at the races and say it about him. He has such a calm aura about him, and I think that's what makes him a top driver. You know, he doesn't panic. You very rarely see him panicking throughout a race, and I think that's why he gets along with the trotters so well, because he is so calm and he's so patient with them, and he lets them settle, it's really, really cool to see.
Sammy, thank you, congratulations. Hopefully I will be over soon. Got a few things going on. Are you going out to Brecken Farms for the stable opening? It'll be tomorrow. This will go up on Tuesday.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, can't wait for that. We've only seen photos at the moment, but yeah, it looks really, really cool. It's really exciting for those guys. You know, they put a lot into the sport, and it's cool to see them, you know, doing things like that. It just looks phenomenal. So yeah, can't wait to get out there.
I'm doing I've already done it actually. I've done it behind the scenes that won't go out. Anyone watching this, they haven't missed it. It won't go out until afterwards, because they have got so many people from TV, which is awesome. People coming from everywhere. So good for the industry and that. But it's the guided tour that I just had then, it's state of the art. The to say the least. I think Nigel's very tired, but he's very excited as well. So it's going to be terrific. But yeah, hopefully I'll be doing some stuff with them and also with the NZB sales. So we will be catching up in the near future. Hopefully, we might even be able to get out there for when the big boys come to race just prior to Christmas. New Year's, in between Christmas and New Year's. So yeah, so be all good. Sammy, thank you. But more importantly, congratulations.
Thanks so much, Paul. No, I'm very, very excited girl.
Brecon Farms, where the stats don't lie. Contact the team at brecconfarms.co.nz for more information.